this space got cleared out with zero feelings of overwhelm, zero negative self-talk, and zero emotional distress. And the plan was the no mess decluttering method. Let's get into the details. Let's talk about orderly spaces, feelings about messes, and the plan that always, always, always helps me. This is the magical method invented by Dana K. White. She calls it the no mess decluttering method, and she is so smart about realistic space management. It can be so emotionally draining to ruminate over a mess because of self-criticism and feelings of hopelessness and thoughts like, where am I even supposed to begin? I can relate. I've experienced it. And spoiler, look for garbage. That's the answer to where to even begin. Now, acknowledgments about this specific mess. About 30% of it was staged. It was already a dumping ground for miscellaneous renovation materials. And then I intentionally piled more on because I knew I wanted to film the cleanup for content. But I promise, I still never felt overwhelmed or hopeless. And I argued that those feelings were absent because I had a plan and I knew the plan was effective. Another acknowledgement, this mess was easy to ignore. We could close the door, the mess was contained, and our daily lives are barely affected because it's a minimally used room. One last acknowledgement about my demonstration. I am going through the no mess method at lightning speed with every single item I touch because I've practiced it a lot. And because I'm well practiced at this method, I'm able to do it quickly. A newbie to this method may require some practice, and I'll talk through step 1 in immense detail in this video. You may find it helpful to print out my yes/no flowchart to guide you through your messes. I said that step 1 is to look for garbage, and the remaining steps are misplaced items, donation items, where would I look for this item first, and would it even occur to me that I own this item? But since I love details, you'll only hear more about garbage and the reasons it's step 1 in this video. So, step 1, look for garbage. Notice that the verb of step 1 is look. The action is look. Move your eyeballs to the mess and look. No other action is required. The use of this verb is very intentional, and I love it because most people can accomplish this. Continue looking until you find garbage. Remember, your mission is garbage, so when your eyes see something that is not garbage, not to worry, it'll get processed later on in the method. When you find garbage, if you have the time and energy, discard it. And when you come back to your mess, do it again. Look, only look for garbage. As you look for garbage, you may have the energy and time to discard it, and if so, do it. In my opinion, there are 4 reasons that looking for garbage is effective. So 1, looking, for most people, is an easy win. Wins are important here because every winning experience builds decluttering muscles. Reason 2, looking engages you in scanning all the other items with no expectations of action. Subconsciously, your eyes and your brain are registering the items, but consciously, you are focused only on looking. 3, once the act of looking is accomplished by finding a piece of garbage, you often feel capable of the next part, discarding it. And to clarify, I consider garbage to be an item that is easy for a person to discard. Notice what might be considered garbage is a matter of opinion. In the guided decluttering sessions I've done, comments from a third party that cast a different opinion are ineffective to making progress. Unhelpful comments sound like, of course that's garbage, or you don't even use it, or just throw it away already. 4, because the expectation is for garbage only, feelings of anxiety and hopelessness can be settled knowing that only items that you feel ready to discard will be discarded. Now, let's tangent to garbage and its asterisks. If you come across an item that feels easy to discard, but you'd rather recycle it, take it to your recycling container now. If, however, you're in such a serious state of distress and you are really needing wins by seeing visible progress, consider putting it in the garbage. I understand our wishes to do the best for our earth, but depending on your emotional state, it may be worth it to you this time to put it in the garbage, knowing that you will have the capacity in the future to recycle, quote unquote, properly. What I'm saying is weigh the benefits and costs to your specific situation. So you might be wondering, what is this mess? It's our basement mid-renovation mess. And it's in this state because as trades came in and out of our basement, various tools and leftover materials were left scattered all over. And I, wanting to keep as much of the basement as functional as possible, I tucked all the items into this room to be processed later. I'm showing this big mess cleanup because I want to show how feelings of overwhelm can be minimized. I will never deny that this is visually overwhelming, like woof. There's no disputing that. A younger version of me would have ruminated, developed an elaborate plan, tried to anticipate every step of the clearing out process, allocate a big chunk of time for when I know I'll have energy. But wiser me knows that the plan has already been developed. It's effective, and I can jump into action. An explainer for why I did allocate a big chunk of time for clearing this mess, despite this method being excellent at accommodating pauses and breaks. I wanted to film clearing this mess for content, and because I want my content to exclude my children, I needed them out of the house. I needed them out of the house because they are my top 3 interrupters. Lovely people and excellent interrupters. So, to save myself extensive editing efforts, I filmed while I was kid-free, which was a large chunk of time, thanks to my parents. Sidebar declaration: my parents are awesome. My parents care for my children 2 full days a week, which gives me 2 full days with huge time flexibility. Mommy and Papi, I love you. Thank you for all that you do for me and my family. And I've been using all my kid-free time to work on my YouTube hobby. You know what? I did pause this project once, and then I resumed it 28 days later. And I actually added more mess during the pause because the space in my mind was still the dumping ground for future processing. But again, because I had a plan and I knew my plan was effective, feelings of overwhelm were not there. I'm Ramina. Thanks for sharing your time.